Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pearson. A lot of exciting action. You'll see the Dirty White Boys take on the exciting Rock and Roll Express. Also, we have moved into round number 7 of the Mid-South Television Tournament. The fabulous Freebirds are here, Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts. Also, Ted DiBiase returns and brings with him his partner, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and they are the new Mid-South Tag Team Champions. I'm not as exuberant as I ordinarily am, and the reason, something has happened to one of my dear friends, and something has happened to one of your dear friends, and I just can't tell you about it, but the man that can, and with the particulars the best that he can break, because it affects him too, Cowboy Bill Watts, the president of Mid-South Sports.
Well, thank you, Boyd. As you all know who watched last week and were, for the first time in history, we interrupted a Mid-South show and had a news bulletin. Today was supposed to be the semifinal of the Mid-South Television Tournament for $10,000. The winner to meet Jake the Snake Roberts next week for the final event. Today's event was to be Hacksaw Jim Duggan against Dr. Death Steve Williams. Two men that have had some brutal, exciting matches in the past. Both former All-American football players, both professional football players, both great amateur wrestlers. Hacksaw Jim Duggan will not be here today. May the 4th, the day before my birthday, we were in Jackson, Mississippi on assignment for the National Wrestling Alliance to tape a match with Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. Since we had the cameras there, they covered the entire spectacular. In a main event with Hacksaw Duggan against Kamala, Skandar Akbar perpetrated the most horrible thing I've ever heard, and he put Hacksaw Jim Duggan out of wrestling. It was a deadly, premeditated, calculated move, the type that Akbar is so prone to do. I don't know if it's because of the part of the country he comes from where that terrorism is a way of life or what it is, but let us show you. And we've taken, this is the tape that we took to the board of directors to make our decisions. Let's first show you this tape. You are watching the events in a main event in Jackson, Mississippi, Saturday, May 4th, between Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Kamala, the Ugandan warrior, that led up to the most heinous, premeditated, vicious terrorist attack I've ever seen by General Skandar Akbar. This will be the official tape that was taken to Mid-South Board of Directors. The decisions rendered are based upon what we see here. I was in Jackson that night to watch Ric Flair, the world's champion, and I was shocked, totally shocked, brought to my knees by the awesome event that happened here as we see Jim Duggan and the end of his career. A valiant man, a great American hero, Jim Duggan, a man that gave his all for the crowd, for the contest, for his family, for everything else that what the American dream stands for, the sporting concept. He asked no quarter and he gave none against this awesome 387-pound Kamala. Here you see Duggan set for the spear. Now right here, as you see, referee Pee Wee Anderson taken out of the action as he got behind Kamala. Of course, this has no bearing on it because Akbar blatantly walks in, and as we see him right there reaching up to Duggan's face, not knowing what's about to happen, a ball of fire, a burst of flame. We're going to go to a stop action, a still frame of this same piece of action. Right there you see it from another camera angle, that a tremendous ball of fire with a left eye in the face of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We'll be showing it to you again in slow motion. As you see, Kamala traps Duggan's leg where he couldn't move, and then Akbar hits him with that ball of flame again. You see the smoke flare up. You could smell the singe of hair and burning flesh. Jim Duggan, his career ended by this terrorist act. Jim Duggan was flown by private plane to a burn center. They tried to save his left eye, and this is what they're still hoping has been done. They don't know about the sight in it. They want to save the physical eye, naturally. He's in a private institution, and they're not set up to handle, I know, what'll be the outpouring of everybody's heart and feeling in support of this man. We'll give you later an address. Have your pencil and paper ready. We'll give you an address where you can send condolences and well wishes. I know he wants your feelings supporting him. We sent the Power Pro Wrestling and Mid-South camera crew to visit with Jim Duggan yesterday, and this is the interview he made.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you were with us here last week on Mid-South Wrestling, you perhaps witnessed the most sadistic, premeditated attack on an individual ever perpetrated by another wrestler. General Skandar Akbar's situation with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jackson Fairgrounds Coliseum. We've talked before we went on camera, so this is not a surprise to Hacksaw Duggan, but the doctors say that we've seen Hacksaw Duggan in his last wrestling match.
Well, Jim, I'm sure a lot of people understand, I'm sure you understand, that I've been active in athletics my whole life. Professional wrestling is my life right now. And after what just happened, and after talking with the doctors, they've come to the conclusion that I'll be out of professional wrestling for the rest of my life. And that I may lose total eyesight. And it's quite probable that I'll lose total eyesight in my left eye. But I want you to know, there's a big saying that big men are not supposed to be afraid or scared. Well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan is scared. I'm damn scared, Jim Ross. I don't want to lose professional wrestling, and I don't want to lose my eyesight. But at this time, it's all up in the air. I have my faith in God and in the doctors. We'll just have to wait to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have at this time. We will keep you updated in upcoming weeks on this situation.
You know, this is the saddest situation I think I've ever witnessed. Jim Duggan, a man in the flower of his youth, a man that I'd seen grow, a guy after my own heart. And he'd learned to give of himself to everybody in Mid-South. He gave no quarter and asked none. And he would have fought fire with fire, but I think this situation was even beyond his imagination. Again, like I say, we will have a number supered on the screen where you can send your cards and letters, and we will forward them to him. As president of Mid-South, I have terminated all contracts with Skandar Akbar and Kamala. I felt that that's the least I could do. I'm sure legal action will be coming out of it, but as of this time, those contracts are terminated. Now, for those of you who I know will want to give Jim your support, please send your cards and letters to Jim Duggan in care of Mid-South Wrestling, 116 West Breckenridge, Bigsby, Oklahoma, 74008. And we will keep you updated, and we certainly hope that Jim Duggan makes a recovery completely. And now we'll be back with the new Mid-South Tag Team Champions after these words from our sponsors.